obviously it's very early in your career and you're getting an opportunity like this. Now that it's here and you're experiencing Fight Week as a main event, what does it feel like for you?
It's amazing. I've dreamed of these times, ever first stepping inside a cage as an amateur, all the way up to my pro ranks, making it here to the UFC. I knew these fights were, in front of me if I just, dedicated myself and, worked hard, and now they're here. It's Fight Week. I'm enjoying it. I got some of my family. I got little Maddox with me, my team here. I'm just enjoying the moment, and excited to go out there and have some fun on Sunday.
Did have a little bit of drama added to your week though yesterday, I guess. Tell us what happened there.
Oh, it's nothing, just a mean mugging, I like it, Brazilian fans come out strong and they want to, they represent their dude, and so that's what it is. It's a anticipated matchup with two talented fighters, so it gets hostile, and especially when Fight Week, you walk around and seeing that, and all the talk's gonna be done Sunday when we step in there, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
You mentioned everybody looking forward to this fight. Of course, they love your striking. I mean, people want to see you guys go in there and stand and bang, but I know this is an important fight for you to win. So are you looking at this as like, I just want to go out there and trade hands and see what happens, or hey, maybe we do need to show a little wrestling, a little jiu-jitsu?
I mean, I've been excited for these fights, for these my opponent, my adversary, having high skills too. That's going to only show more of my skills. I didn't have to really show much of my wrestling, much of my jiu-jitsu, much of my heart, much of my my determination in there, as he has before in fights. I haven't. So that's a side of people that's never seen in me. I have that in me, always have. So if that has to come out, you have to go rely. My skills are out the window. I got my heart, and it's still beating, and it's going to go for 25 minutes to get this win.
Said you were going on his Instagram page and leaving him notes.
Oh yeah, I just let him know. Letting him know. I like to engage in that. He wanted to say he knocked me out in the second round, so he started the shit talking first. If you're really confident, you're gonna knock me out in the first round. So I didn't take too kindly of that. So he's gonna say this and do this and that. I went right on his pitch. I'm gonna tag him and shit. So that's how I look at it. I'm not, no disrespect. I respect him, but it's a fight. I'm not in there to be his friend. After we can, touch gloves and after we go out there and put on a fight for the fans. But yeah, I mean, it's a sport. People like to see that. I like to engage in some shit talking. It makes it more motivation for me. If he's saying he's gonna knock me out, I'm getting up like, oh, okay, this guy's working hard to knock me out. I'm gonna work harder to knock him out. So that was just that.
Was there a way to actually send the message directly?
Yeah, he never replied back, but all his team did. So his team can get it too.
Cody, Almeida obviously known not to waste much time trying to get in there, pressuring from the beginning. Same could be said for you. But when you see a guy that fights aggressive like that, does that also mean that he opens himself up to make mistakes early?
See a knockout. He's coming forward good. He's gonna come. He's never came forward on a fighter that hits like me, that moves like me. So he's gonna be on a world of hurt, and when he can hurt people, you see him. He does things in broken movement, combination. Then waits till they're hurt, and then jumps on them. So when he comes in with that broken movement, those counters and my speed, and once I hit him once, he's gonna try to turn it into a brawl. I know it. So that's how I'm looking forward for the fight. He wants to turn it into a brawl. I'm a better brawler than him. I'm a better fighter than him. I'm a better martial artist than him. Anywhere the fight goes, he just has a 21-0 record. That's everyone's looking at compared to my skill set, my wrestling background, my boxing experience, all my boxing fights. So they can say that records are the favorite, but his style is. So I picked this fight. His style is perfect for me.
Team Alpha Male, a very tight camp. They've been there for you before when you've been on undercards, but this is the first time you're in the main event. Any different feeling from those guys because you're the belle of the ball, so to speak?
No, it's been the same. Business as usual. Everyone's in the gym helping me out. That's what we have. Right after a fight, I'm back in the gym helping my teammates out like they helped me out. We got a bunch of them out here now. We got Alex Sandoval. Josh Emmett just fought over the country. Got signed on 6 days' notice. Got a win. We got Chris Holdsworth, Danny. All these guys here that are supporting me. Got Darren Elkins coming in tomorrow. So they're all excited for me. We've been putting in hard work together, and when I win, we all win. That's how it is on the team.
Cody, obviously you're undefeated, so you haven't had any. If it has been negative, then it hasn't shown up in the form of a loss. But how have you noticed that emotion plays into your fights? Like you're a guy who does show emotion in the octagon. Like when you yelled at Brimage, in your UFC debut. And did you feel like that you perform well when you're emotional?
Yeah, emotion, drama. That's what I like. I like it when it's a fight, a street fight mentality. That's what I have going in there. Like Diaz says, like Nate says, kill or be killed, and that's what I'm in there to do. I'm not in there to win by a point system. It's either I'm gonna knock you out, or you're gonna knock me out, and I'm gonna do it before that. But that's how I look at it. You know, I like to engage in that. You know, emotions. You know, the adrenaline, just the pureness of it. You know, the pureness of fighting. That's why I fell in love with fighting. Ever since I was a kid, I remember my first street fight. I was like, wow, this is awesome. You know, it just gave me a rush, and I wanted to do it, and it transpired into, you know, boxing, wrestling, mixed martial arts. I'm blessed and honored to be able to. My path went this way, where it could have went a more negative way with fighting. How I started out fighting in the streets and doing that. So I'm very thankful to get in there and express my emotion. You know, it's your art, and that's your passion. So I let my passion come out in me.
Has anyone ever tried to warn you that could potentially be a negative?
Oh, my mom, yeah, all the time. Hey, don't let him get in. She called me today. Like, my mom called me this morning and, you know, told me not to let that. So she knows she's a mama bear, so she calls me to make sure I'm level-headed. She knows she knows how crazy I am. So that's good. You know, I use all that, you know, add fuel to the fire. You know, they want to start some shit or mean mug me when I'm by myself. I think that's a cowardly act. But you know, I'm not fighting them. I'm fighting Thomas. So my focus is on Thomas and going in there and doing what I said the whole camp, knocking him out, and that's what I'm going to do.
What does a knockout do for you in this division? I mean, you're not ranked, which is surprising to a lot of people. So where do you think it puts you?
Puts me up in the, you know, top division where I belong and where I deserve to be. You know, that's why I wanted these fights. I wanted John Lineker, Thomas Almeida, and then a title shot. And you know, that's what I got. Now I got to go out there, and I know my responsibilities on Sunday, what I have to do. That's get a knockout, and that puts me right in the top, you know, top of the food chain where I deserve. You know.
You both have talked about as two of the top prospects. Do you think the winner of this fight kind of gets taken out of that prospect category and into a contender?
Yeah, like I said, when I beat him on Sunday, he can rematch me. We can have those matches, those trilogies. You know, he can come and defend. You know, I can come have possible future matchups. But I don't know. He's a rising star in Brazil and here, so it's a great matchup that we're fighting early on in our career. So we can have those matchups. You know, like the Turo Gotti's and Mickey Ward fights. You know, down the road.
It feels like on both sides there's emotion, and both you guys are kind of just like, you know, foot on the gas pedal guys right from the beginning. Have you kind of thought about what happens if you both go in there just full force, and then all of a sudden it's like the third round, and like, okay, now what? You know, kind of take a breath.
They can go in the fifth round. I got world-class cardio. I got my coaches, you know, Justin Buckles, Danny Castillo, Chris Holdsworth pushing me every day in training, and knowing that I can go, you know, that hard at a high pace. You know, always in my corner. You got world-class cardio. Show it on this guy. Break this guy. And I got tattooed "Relentless" on my arm because that's my pace that I put in there is relentless. A relentless pace, and you know, that's Team Alpha Male. That's our, you know, creed. Our motto is we have world-class cardio. We don't get tired. We don't get out wrestled. We don't get out worked. So taking that mentality in there.
Having Maddox here though, like following you since that first fight, how does it feel?
It's great. You know, you know, having Maddox here is amazing. You know, it's seen so many bad times with them. You know, that we hope for the best, and he kept fighting and fighting. You know, 3.5 years, almost 4 years of fighting for his life. You know, just him being so positive and encouraging and motivation to me to put my life in perspective. That's why I say when I have these interviews, like, what do you fight for? And really, once I met Maddox and his family when I was 18, it gave me purpose, not only in fighting, but in my life. So I'm fighting with purpose, and to show him, you know, he made a bond to me that he was going to beat cancer, and that I was going to be in the UFC. And we kept making new goals and new levels. Now we got there. Now we got our first main event. Now it's on to the, you know, I want that. He's got a man cave of me, Cody man cave, all memorabilia from our fight. He goes in there, he plays video games, and I walk in there, I'm like taken away by it. You know, this is a little kid that I look up to, doesn't even know how much I look up to, how much he's done for me in my life, and he has a man cave of me, and he has a little space in the corner of the wall for the belt, and there's a world title right there. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna win that belt and put it in his man cave. So that's my goal.
Cody, #1 podcast in MMA.
Stud Show Radio.
No better place to end than there.
If you're doing a ranking about like the best MMA fighters in the whole time, like what is the one in your opinion?
#1, I think Demetrius Johnson is. Man, that guy is so skilled as a fighter.
The whole history of the MMA.
Oh, the whole history? Oh, the whole history. I don't know. He's up for the runnings. You know, I mean, he's been the talent that he's been fighting, and the people that you know. I think he's pound for pound right now the
In
best.
your opinion, like somebody that you really like, an idol in the sport, would be him, like the best, the greatest of the whole time.
Greatest of all time. My favorite of all time is Chuck Liddell, for sure. Chuck Liddell, he's American badass, and he kind of has a similar style that I portray. He's a sprawl and brawl. He has a wrestling background, but he knows what he's good at. He's got heavy hands, and he goes out there and fights. So Chuck Liddell is my favorite fighter, hands down, of all time. Thank you, guys.